Hey everybody, my name is Will and this is Idiot Proof Cooking. If you're new to the channel, I make simple and easy to follow recipes that I consider are idiot proof because hey, if an idiot like me can make something, you certainly can. If you're a return viewer, then you know the drill. So today I'm going to be showing you how to make vegetable stock and then I'm going to turn it into some soup, specifically minestrone. A fellow YouTube colleague, a fellow YouTuber, whatever you call other people's channels. But anyways, a channel that I follow by a guy named Maikoh made the suggestion that with the terrible weather out, it is soup season, and I tend to agree with him. Now, if you've never checked out Maikoh's channel, I'll throw a link in the description because you should definitely check out his channel. He makes some seriously amazing food, and I think you would really, really love what he makes, so you should definitely subscribe to his channel. But back to the original point is it's soup season. So that's why I've decided to make some vegetable stock and then turn it into minestrone because I think you'll absolutely love it. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so to make the minestrone, we're first going to have to tackle making the vegetable stock. And in order to do that, you're going to need a fairly decently sized stock pot, like the one I have here. So go get your stock pot, and then let's talk about the vegetables. Now, what me and Meg always do when we're making vegetable stock is we just use like the end cuts and like the leftover pieces of vegetables whenever we're making dinner, and we just freeze them until they're ready to be used. As you can see, like there's like little end cuts of peppers and onions, and we just fill up a Ziploc bag until they're ready to be used. So just pour those into your stock pot, but that isn't going to be enough vegetables to use here. We're going to need to supplement it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 2 stalks of celery, and because we're just boiling these, I'm just going to roughly cut them. You don't need to dice them up finely. So cut up 2 stalks of celery, throw them into the stock pot, and then I'm going to use 3 medium-sized carrots. Again, just cut them up into a couple of pieces. No need to be, cutting them up finely. From there, I'm going to cut a large white onion in half and throw it in, skin and everything. Same with a whole bulb of garlic. Just cut it in half and you can just throw it all in with the skins and everything. We're going to strain this after all, so we don't really have to worry about the skins. Then I'm going to throw in some parsley, some fresh parsley, and some fresh thyme, about a handful of each. Then I'm going to throw in 3 bay leaves and just toss them in as well. Then I'm going to throw in some black peppercorns, just like a handful of them. I'd say like a 1/4 cup of them, a good pinch of kosher salt, and then I'm going to add in 16 cups of water because I try and keep it even, like 16 cups of water to 16 cups of vegetables, or like 12 cups. You want to make it even, and I had about 16 cups of vegetables at the end of this. So from there, you're going to throw it on a burner, bring it to a simmer, and let it simmer for about 2 hours until it comes out nice and golden like this. So you're going to want to strain it into a bowl, and look at that vegetable stock. Look at the deep, rich colors on it. Oh my god, it smells amazing, and it's so easy to make. Like, look at how easy that was. So we're going to set that aside now that the vegetable stock is made, walking it carefully to the counter, and let's start making some minestrone. So what we're going to add into this soup is 2 stalks of celery, 4 medium-sized carrots, a decently sized zucchini, 4 Roma tomatoes. Let me just get them all on the table here for you, and then a large white onion. Now, similar to whenever we're making soup or basically anything with vegetables, you're going to want to dice this all up finally, starting off with the onions. Once that's diced up, throw it in a bowl, move on to the celery. Again, dice it finely, and Rose is helping me eat the celery before we even cook it. And then move on to the carrots, cut them up finely again, like everything else. And if you have a little helper here, she can help you put the carrots in a bowl. Thank you, Rose. You're definitely helping out. So anyways, keep cutting up the carrots until they're into nice, fine little pieces, like you can see I've done here. Put them all into a bowl, again with the help of your daughter. And then move on to the zucchini. So again, just same with all the vegetables, I'm going to cut these up into little squares. And then once that's done, last but not least, the Roma tomatoes. Now, I can't stand tomatoes, but Typically they do go in minestrone, but fortunately when you cook them, they don't actually end up tasting like tomatoes. But let's head into the kitchen and start making the actual soup. So into your Dutch oven, put it on a medium heat, let it heat up, throw in some olive oil, and start to fry your onions. So throw them in and let them cook for 2 to 3 minutes until they get nice and translucent. Once that's done, it's time to throw in your carrots and celery. Mix them all around and let them cook with the onions for 2 to 3 to 4 minutes until they become nice and fragrant. Once that happens, you throw in your zucchini and again mix that around for 2 to 3 minutes until it starts to soften up. Once they do, it's time to add in some garlic. I'm adding in 3 cloves of freshly crushed garlic, just crushing it over the vegetables, and then once that's done, I'll just stir it in with the vegetables for about a minute to let it cook and get really nice and fragrant. Once the garlic's been stirred around, it's time to add in some tomato paste. I'm using a whole 6-ounce can of it and stirring that in with the vegetables. From there, I'm going to add in a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes and again mixing it around with all of the vegetables and the tomato paste. Once that's all mixed in, I'm going to add in some fresh parsley, about a 1/4 cup of it. I just ripped it up with my hands. Then I'm going to add in a tablespoon of fresh thyme and a tablespoon of dried oregano. And then I'm just going to mix that all in with everything. And at this point in time, it smells amazing, but we're going to add in some crushed red pepper flakes and a good pinch of kosher salt and some freshly ground black pepper for taste. Then we're going to add in that vegetable stock. Now I'm going to add in 12 cups of it because I'm making a fairly large amount of soup, but look at how golden and amazing that vegetable stock looks. Now it's time to add in the Roma tomatoes and a 1/2 cup of red kidney beans I had soaking in the fridge overnight. Then I'm going to add in 2 bay leaves and I'm going to mix this all together. I'm going to throw the lid on it and let it simmer on a medium heat for 45 minutes to an hour. And that's just going to let everything soften up. And look at that, after an hour it looks ready to go. But we're not quite done, we're almost done. I'm just going to give this a quick mix and then I'm going to add in the noodles. Now typically you would use shell noodles for minestrone, but I didn't have any, so I'm just using these spiral noodles. I'm throwing in a cup of them and I'm going to let them cook in the soup for about 15 minutes until the noodles cook and they become nice and gummy. Once that's done, I'm going to use a cup of baby spinach and throw that in and mix it in, and this will take like 30 seconds for them to cook. Baby spinach cooks super quick, so just mix that in and then this soup is ready to go. It smells amazing and I can't wait to try it, so I'm just gonna look at this. Just let me ladle it so you can see all the amazing ingredients in there. But anyways, let's ladle out some and go taste test it. So I'm just going to pour some into a bowl here. I am absolutely thrilled to try this. It just smells so good. So let's go into the other room and give this a taste test. But before we do, I've got to add some Parmesan cheese on top of it. And I mean a lot of Parmesan cheese because there's no such thing as too much Parmesan cheese on your soup. So there we go, and look at that, voila. So let's go in and try this. It's piping hot, it is very hot, so bear with me here while I blow on it to cool it down a little bit. But with the first bite, oh yeah, it was so good, so rich and hearty and just warms you up from the inside. Like, it was so tasty. That was so easy to make. I'm really happy at how quickly this came together. Like, the vegetable stock, super easy. And then the minestrone, it all comes together so quickly. And this is perfect for the weather that we have now. Like, getting into the fall and into the winter, cold days, this will warm you up after a cold day. And it was so damn good. So you should try making it yourself. But that's the end of the episode, like always. If you like what you saw here, why don't you drop me a comment, like the video, or even subscribe to the channel. Thanks again for watching 80 Proof Cooking. We'll see you again soon.